Okay, I got incredibly lazy and tired and had trouble getting out of bed this morning, and now I'm still super duper tired, but it was worth it. I was literally just trying to fight back a yawn right there, because last night was incredible. Like, seriously. Okay, let's get my low, my high back to kindness. Actually, no, my low is the fact that I got a late start. My high is hot ones in the Go-Bog Show yesterday, and my act of kindness was, I don't know, I did a few things for my grandma yesterday. Okay, good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Oh yeah, we also have Rita's today. Rita's is going to be awesome. Okay, so I'll do hot ones first, I guess. So, Colin Farrell on hot ones. You know, I will be 100% honest. Like, remember when I said yesterday how, like, I barely remember Colin Farrell being in anything I've ever seen, when really he's been in quite a few things I've actually seen over the years? Here's the thing. I really have never heard the sound of his voice before until, like, yesterday. Because, I mean, sometimes if you're an Irish actor, maybe you're more, you know, I don't want to say Americanized because I don't think that's the right word for it, but let's say for the sake of, because I don't know, Americanized. Like, he's got a legit Irish accent. I'm like, okay, he's not a bad looking guy. He's got an accent. Okay, you know what? I can see why the ladies love him. I really can. I mean, he's got the whole package right there, man. I mean, jeepers. But, it was an awesome episode. And there was a few questions that really got to me. One of which was, this is when, because Sean actually harked back to when Tom Holland was on. Talking about how when Tom Holland plays Spider-Man, because he's wearing a mask, you can't really show your facial expressions, which can be a problem. Because on the one hand, if you can't show your facial expressions, like, there's no emotion, there's no, like, urgency, there's no, I already said emotion, but you get the idea. Like, you can't use that expression to convey a scene. However, a pro for this is, even though you're wearing a mask, guess what? All of your other appendages and body parts are free. You can use that for your expression. You can use that to show emotion. You can use that to show urgency. Like, stuff like that. And I completely forgot that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Again, I remember Tom Holland being on Holland, so I completely forgot they talked about that. And come to think of it, I'm pretty sure they talked about that at the end of season 16. I think they did. Man, it really wasn't that long ago, was it? Cool. And Sean Evans brought this question up because since Colin Farrell is playing the Penguin in the new Batman movie, the Penguin, if you don't know what he looks like, you know, he's a, big guy. You know, not exactly what you would call a slimming figure, I'll put it that way. So, to facilitate the character, Colin Farrell had to put on a whole bunch of, prosthetics, a fat suit, stuff like that. And even though he's not wearing a mask, technically some of his body is being hindered. So the opposite has to be true. Like, your facial expression has to be like the thing that everyone sees and gravitates towards. And I thought that was a really cool, I think that's really cool. Because, a lot of people like to think that, acting is as simple as being on a stage or in front of a camera and just doing something, when there's a lot more to it than that. Even, I'll even use me doing these videos, for instance. I really am in front of a camera just doing my thing and talking about stuff. But I'm actually using my body a little bit. I mean, you know me, I like to use my hands to explain things. Like, I use my face to show emotion. Like, you can read what's going on based on what I'm doing just by that alone. I mean, yeah, I'm also talking too, and, you know, that helps. Like, it's a combination of show and, it's like a combination of show then tell, and then of show not tell, and show and tell, you know what I mean? So I thought that was really cool. Let's see, what else are they talking about? Oh, like right when they started, like, Colin made a comment of how, like, when he was receiving, like, I think it was his Golden Globe, like, not many people, well, in his family specifically, were, you know, like, that excited. But when he was on Hot Ones, like, everyone in his family was excited. So, good to see where your family's priorities lie, isn't it? Oh, that was really funny. He talked about a few places in Ireland where if you're going to go visit, like, what are some things that you absolutely have to do, see, and eat. That's really cool. Yeah, honestly, this was a solid episode of Hot Ones. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, again, this episode was in no way, shape, or form bad. But if you've been watching Hot Ones for as long as I have, and you've been waiting for people like Andrew Zimmern, or you're completely surprised by what you see in guests like David Grohl, and then you immediately go on after stuff like that, I don't want to say it demeans it or anything, but you know what? It didn't need to be exciting. I'll say that much. It didn't need to be exciting or big. It just needed to be its own thing, and that's exactly what this episode was. And for that, I have no complaints. This was a great episode overall. And speaking of great episodes, holy cow, I gotta talk about the Go-Bog Show. Because I'll admit, I was getting like really, really sleepy. Like I was struggling to stay awake. And, just like right now. And right before the episode started, the promotion's like, and a shocking twist that you didn't see coming. Okay, what is this shocking twist? Oh, I'll get to that momentarily. So, they go to the first round. And it's the guy who solves Rubik's Cubes in extreme situations, the Iceman, and the bouncing guy. And here's the thing. All three contestants got the same score of 96. They all not only went bigger, but they got the exact same score. Okay. Consider my interest peaked now, right? So what they wound up doing is, because here's the thing. The Power Tower is based on an average score of all four judges. Meaning you have a certain set of numbers that equally average that you got. For example, you could have, say, so let's say the score is 96. If all four judges had a score of 96, you get 96. Or maybe there were two scores of 96. One score happened to be 97, the other score happened to be 95. That also equals 96. You know, stuff like that. So what they wound up doing was they accumulated all four scores of the judges. And, you know, the sum of all four scores would be who got to move on. And sure enough, two people had the same score of 385. Oh yeah. So then it got even crazier. And the one who got eliminated was the Rubik's Cube guy. So now it's Iceman and the bouncing guy. And so what they wound up doing is they took the scores from the first round, and yeah, the bouncing guy had like a 79 in the first round. So yeah, Iceman got to move on. And keep in mind, all three of their acts were great, but Iceman literally broke through ice and fire. I mean, come on, dude. He totally went big. And so now we have the final three acts for the semifinal. You have the lady who can do some really crazy stuff that's like creepy, Dr. Splash, and I forgot who else was there. I'm so sorry. But in the end, it was Dr. Splash that won it all. So right now you have Dr. Splash, Manu the Flying Frenchman, and the motorcycle guy on the finals. But just like last season, there's always one wild card for a total of 4. So they got the runners-up from all 3 of the previous episodes: the Iceman, the Dare Daughter, and Luna Lou, the umbrella lady. So basically at this situation, the judges have to unanimously decide who of those 3 is going. And by all accounts, before I get to this, I should tell you that between Dr. Splash and the Iceman, they went with Dr. Splash. So there you go. So with that said, the judges have to unanimously decide who's going on. And so they went with the Dare Daughter. Now, I will admit, I have a soft spot because I used to be a big guy myself, so I kind of did want Iceman to go on. But you know what? This is the first time on the Go-Bog Show where the final has featured at least one woman. So you know what? I'm all for it. Plus, I really like the Dare Daughter. She's really good. So I have no complaints. So there you have it. The Dare Daughter, Dr. Splash, the motorcycle guy, and Manu, the Flying Frenchman. I don't know. And you know what? It's funny. I'll never forget when Dr. Splash appeared in round 1. He's like, you don't know this, but I'm going to win the whole thing. You know what? I think he just might. He's easily the oldest of all 4 contestants in the finals. That's for sure. I mean, you would think just simply jumping off of a high point into a pool of water isn't really that much. But when he did his act last night, he had to jump through a ring of fire where the smoke is impeding his vision. Like, dude, I don't know what his final act is going to be next week, but I think he's really going to go big. I mean, I'm not saying, here's the thing, I don't want to say I have a favorite going into the final. I don't. Because I really could see all 4 of these acts and be okay with literally any of them winning. Really, I mean, there's not one contestant or act I think is better than the other. In the end, it's going to come down to who really did want to go further, what the judges wound up liking and deciding. And in the end, I mean, listen, we're all going to be entertained by what we see when this is all over. And that's ultimately what really anything you see on TV is for. But it really will make everyone who's a fan of the Go-Bog Show wonder. Like, they're going to go, these final 4 contestants are going to go as big as they could ever hope to do. The question is, how are they going to do it? And, I mean, they did show a little bit of a promotion for what's going to happen next week. But honestly, I was so incredibly exhausted. I'm like, bro, I got to go to bed. Like, I am, like, oh, excuse me. I am barely staying awake as it is. If I don't go to bed soon, I'm going to collapse completely on the ground, probably before you even get to my bed. and I'm going to wind up getting up late, which I pretty much did anyway. Oops. So yeah, that was my day. It was great, man. I mean, wow. You know, Hot One Season 17 has been going strong so far in a good way. And the Go-Bog Show wraps up next week, which you think worries me, but the Masked Singer is starting up next Wednesday. So the void is, slowly being filled. And America's Got Talent Extreme is on too. So, yeah, I think the void is going to be filled for a little while. I can say that much. But now, I can just, get on with my day. I'm going to be getting myself some Ritas this afternoon. That's going to be nice. Spend the evening with my folks. That'll also be very nice. I can't have any meat today, so I presume we'll probably have, cheese pizza. Or maybe my mom will make mac and cheese. That'd be really good. I love my mom's mac and cheese. My mom's mac and cheese is awesome. So, yeah, there's definitely some options today. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe button. Find me in the social platforms on YouTube. I am very homemade for the info. If you guys are watching, enjoy for I hope we have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, because I'm going to talk to you, we'll be here to Linda. I'll be back. Take care and make good choices. Happy Friday, everyone.